Andrew Martin was a wrestling fan since childhood. However, it was Carl DeMarco, the WWF's Canadian president, who set his career in motion and arranged for him to meet with Bret Hart in Toronto. Bret was impressed by Andrew's size and presence, inviting him to train at the Hart family dungeon. After building a foundation at the world's toughest wrestling school, his training continued in the United States under Dory Funk Jr. Wrestling under the name Martin K, he performed in indie promotions across Canada and the US. This allowed him to cut his teeth and gain valuable experience performing in front of live crowds. It wasn't long before he appeared for the first time on WWF TV at the age of just 23. In late 1998, the band Mötley Crüe performed on Sunday Night Heat, and Andrew was cast as their bodyguard. He protected the band from overzealous fans, testing the setup and the microphones. This gimmick earned him the name Test. Lead writer Vince Russo pitched the idea of adding Test to D-Generation X, comparing him to a young Kevin Nash. However, Triple H ultimately decided that Test was too inexperienced to join the stable, feeling he lacked the star power needed. While that opportunity fell through, the WWF creative team still saw huge promise in him. They aligned him with the Corp Federation. In mid-1999, he entered the most defining angle of his career, a romantic storyline with Stephanie McMahon. In classic wrestling soap opera style, Stephanie's brother Shane disapproved of their relationship, leading to a street fight at SummerSlam. When Test scored the victory, the crowd reaction said it all. He was over with the fans. On his podcast, Bruce Pritchard recalled, "I thought it was brutal. They beat the out of each other. It was two green, hungry talents setting out to prove something, and I think it showed just how tough they both were." Stephanie and Test's relationship continued to develop on screen, leading to an engagement. The storyline was very popular, and Test's career was on an upswing. Behind the scenes, plans were underway to elevate him to the next level, solidifying him as a main eventer. The stage was set for him to turn heel by abandoning Stephanie at the altar, breaking her heart, and becoming one of the WWF's most despicable villains. But then everything changed. Triple H proposed a different idea to Vince McMahon, a storyline where he, not Test, would marry Stephanie. In this shocking twist, Triple H revealed that he drugged Stephanie and married her in a Las Vegas wedding chapel drive-thru. This revised storyline redirected the spotlight onto Triple H, leading to the formation of the McMahon-Helmsley regime, a major angle that dominated WWF TV for years. Sadly, for Test, this meant his big push evaporated. What should have been his breakout moment was gone, leaving him back in the mid-card. Reportedly devastated, Test became the definition of a mid-card wrestler. After the storyline fizzled, Test formed the tag team TNA with Albert, managed by Trish Stratus, who was making her debut. It was clear from the start that Stratus was the real star of the team. When TNA eventually broke up, Test returned to singles action, but he struggled to build momentum. Then came the Invasion angle, where Test unexpectedly joined the WCW and ECW alliance. For a wrestler who was pure WWF, this was an odd choice. He did, however, win both the WCW and WWF Tag Team Championships alongside Booker T, a brief ray of sunshine in his otherwise middling career. In 2002, Test joined the Un-Americans, a faction of non-American heels including Lance Storm, Christian, and William Regal. The group drew solid heat, culminating in a match against The Undertaker at SummerSlam. But once again, Test found himself treading water. His career took a comedic turn when he was paired with Stacy Keibler. She introduced the gimmick of calling his fans the Testicles, turning his character into something of a joke. This storyline led to a feud with Scott Steiner over Keibler's management, signaling the end of any hopes for a main event push. Despite his size and talent, Andrew Martin never achieved the success many believed he was capable of. He faced a major setback in 2004 when a neck injury required spinal fusion surgery. While recovering, WWE released him from his contract. During this time, he began taking prescription painkillers. In 2006, WWE brought Test back as part of their rebooted ECW brand. He was presented as a powerhouse, bulldozing through opponents. It seemed like a fresh start, but a wellness policy violation for testosterone led to a 30-day suspension and ultimately his release. Test made his final attempt to reignite his career in 2007, debuting for TNA under his real name. He teamed with Abyss and Sting at the Hard Justice pay-per-view. Although his debut was booked as a big deal, his TNA run ended abruptly after just one match. By this time, Andrew was battling severe substance abuse issues, particularly with oxycodone, a powerful opioid. In April 2008, he was arrested in Florida for DUI charges. Despite these struggles, WWE funded rehab for him, signaling their belief in his potential recovery. Tragically, on March 13, 2009, Andrew Martin was found unresponsive in his Florida apartment. The official cause of death was an accidental overdose of oxycodone. He was just 33 years old. Doctors later examined his brain and diagnosed him with chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, a condition linked to repetitive head trauma. This diagnosis shed light on the depression and addiction issues that plagued him in his final years. Andrew Martin's story is a sobering reminder of the physical and emotional toll the wrestling industry can take on its performers.